Welcome to the Ultimate Tolkien Tournament. This is Middle-earth Madness. Yes, welcome back, my friends, to the Chamber of Death. The hour is upon us. The board is set. The pieces are moving. It is the Fell Four. Are you prepared?
Oof, I'm scared.
Yes, indeed.
It's going to be scary.
Even now, the terror is welling up inside you.
Also, I think I got hot sauce in my eye. It happens because I eat a lot of hot sauce. But, struggling with that, so...
Embrace the pain. Harness the pain.
It's Thursday, which is almost Friday, so... I don't know. I might chug a beer. It's the Fell Four. Let's go.
You might need to, man.
I know, this is burning.
Pass some this way.
Burning.
Puns, hamburger buns. It's Friday, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So let me get this.
Which one is first?
Eärnwë against Sauron
I called it.
is our first fight of the night.
Let's see. I know I called it Eärnwë. Yeah.
It is pretty top-notch here. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, any bigger than this anyway.
Oh. 1v1.
1v1 and 2 Maiar. So, any way you slice it, we are looking at an elf versus Maiar final fight.
Cool.
But, it could be Sindar Maiar.
What? Guys, I've been gone and a 9 pops in the final 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. So we're catching Josh up here.
What is
Welcome
this?
back, Josh. Yeah, Beleg made a total Cinderella run here, and he has just been handling the business. Some amazing fights this guy's been in.
Oh my gosh, what is this, North Carolina State? Just like real life?
Pretty much, yep.
Oh my gosh.
So let's look at his path, dude. So he, of course, Gothmog got upset by Mary, and that was a huge upset of the tournament right there.
Yeah.
16-1, and then so Beleg had
Paves
first
the
of all,
way.
he beats Aragorn, upset number 1, even though it's an 8-9.
I did not like that.
Yeah.
He beats Mary. You'd expect that. So, okay, you give him that. But then Luthien had him on the ropes. You remember Luthien was like basically on ice, coming back from the dead, fighting with 0.09 health in wraith form, basically.
Oh my gosh.
She had like 12 arrows in her, and then Beleg finally got the kill shot on her and advanced. And then slays Ungoliant last night.
Ooh.
1 eye at the time. So he, these are, it took like 40 something rounds, I want to say. And then, once she was down to 4 or 5 eyes, he got the kill shot on her too. So he's just an unbelievable archer, man. He's been handling business.
Dang.
Yeah. That fight with Luthien was impressive.
Any luck on any like strange luck going his way with like terrain or anything like that?
Some of the
Yes.
battlefield conditions have been helping him.
Yeah, it's a good question. We hit on that yesterday, actually. I never went back and looked for sure, but we were speculating about that very thing because you're like, damn, Luthien, that's a tough out. And Ungoliant's a really tough out.
Yeah.
And these were close fights. I mean, he wasn't, Sauron and Eärnwë, we'll talk about in a minute. They've been just laying dudes out with one hit.
Of course.
Yeah, which you'd expect from ones. They're the they're the pipe hitters of Middle Earth. They're
Also
the hardest dudes.
Yeah, Maiar. It's
Yep. Exactly. So they anyway, here we are in the Fell Four. So yeah, tonight we'll kick off with these two. And Josh, what do you know about Eärnwë? Quiz time.
I've been saying, first of all, I've been saying the name wrong. Secondly, I do know that I predicted this one. So this is my call, just like in real life. I called.
Sweet.
You know.
Yeah, Josh dominated. For those who weren't on in the first round shows when Josh was on the last time, he won something like $1,600 in our March Madness bracket for the yeah. And
for tax purposes, I won $599.
That's right. For tax purposes, he only won $599. That's right. But yeah, good picks for him there. And he's saying he called Aranway versus Sauron.
Oh, I did not call Aranway versus Sauron. I called Aranway. I thought Sauron was going to get taken out by
old
Gandalf Mithrandir.
Okay.
But yeah.
So yeah, old Gandalf Mithrandir decided to crap his pants versus an orc in the first round.
Dead. But yeah, what do I know about Aranway? Go for it, Chucky.
No, I just said slain. That's fine.
Slain.
Aranway is basically a god or a demigod.
Yep.
And not a whole lot. Good guy. It's going good guy. Mainly
you're going good guy. So far, so good. Yep. Yeah, good guy.
Orange circle with the blue circle in the background. I'm going good guy. Even though he's dressed a little bad guy, maybe it's tattered because he's floaty. So maybe he's a crossover.
Sus. He's dressed a little sus.
A little sus.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I just did. I think from an art design perspective, we went less is more with all the Mire, so we tried to make them all silhouettes.
Yeah.
And with Aranway,
jokes.
Oh yeah, I know, man, but it's total speculation, right? The movies did Sauron well. I thought, like in his third age form, but this guy is like the ultimate shape-shifting sorcery necromancer, different character in all three ages dude. So it's like, I don't know, I kind of went with the movie portrayal ultimately, but dude, in the first age, totally different. Second age, different again. He
just doesn't know how to be himself, or he hadn't found himself yet. So
maybe he's just like
always
roaming.
Changing.
Yeah, exactly. Roaming the void, trying to find himself.
He went through a skater period, never learned how to ollie or nothing.
Hey man, but, tongue rings heal in a week, right?
That's absolutely true. I know from real life.
Exactly. In your skater phase, right?
Yeah. Woo. All right. But all right, there we go.
Crush that edge.
Yes. Sauron, I know a little bit more about Sauron, but yeah, Aranway, basically nothing.
Okay, come with me to Lordor momentarily then, because it's worth pointing out. The one question that I had, just thinking about this this matchup in the Fell Four is, well, okay, so the Maiar, there aren't that many of them. Surely these two knew each other way, way back in the age of the lamps or thereabouts, right? When the Earth was young and pretty much not recognizable to anything looking like Middle Earth now. Well, of course, there's no real answer in the lore there, but the one cool scene that's worth revisiting is this little scene from the Silmarillion when Aranway has led the forces of the Valar back to Middle Earth, the part of Middle Earth that didn't exist by the Third Age. Was called Beleriand. So the north and the west, like even north and west of the Shire. Okay, the only thing that's left of it by the Third Age is the Grey Havens, is this little port right on the sea in these mountains called the Ered Lindon. And Lindon was a sliver of beach that used to be Beleriand back then. Anyway, so in the First Age, Aranway leads the forces. They crush Morgoth's armies, and it's just like a beatdown. They cast down his dragons. His Balrogs run, and one of them hides in Khazad-dûm. We know about that one. The rest are never seen again. The dragons flee. Everyone's gone. But they do find Sauron, and they do find Morgoth. Famously, less famously, they do find Sauron, and Sauron and Aranway have a conversation that's kind of interesting. And basically, Aranway sort of offers Gorthaur terms, kind of. It's an ultimatum, and he says,
"Sounds about right." That's what he does with everyone.
Yeah, I will not slay you, Dark One, if you come back to the halls of Mondos and do an indefinite term of imprisonment and abase yourself before all the gods and say, super sorry, kiss my ass, all the things. And Sauron like basically disappears and says, no. And they can't find him.
Also checks out.
Yeah, so he poofs into a shadow of some kind and disappears. So cool scene that I think is a little off the radar between Eowyn and Sauron Gorthaur. So they do. So two things, less cool for the scene itself. The scene itself is kind of like, all right, whatever. Well, Gorthaur got away, and I guess it's stupid of them not to try to chase him, especially if they knew each other going back further, right? Again, there aren't that many Valar or Maiar. They should know each other. The most likely thing is that they knew each other very well indeed. In which case, isn't it sus, as you would say, that Eowyn didn't, like someone, Tulkas, whoever, didn't chase down Gorthaur in that moment, right? That's a huge miss.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so thinking back on previous conversations that we had, didn't you say that Eowyn was like a bad dude, but always kind of didn't quite express his power, didn't quite show his, always kind of held back?
Yeah, because tell him who Eowyn's boss is, Jackie, or Patty Man.
Monway, however you want to say it. Manway,
yeah.
Not Manway. Manway.
Manwitches?
Yeah. And what do we know about Manway? He is Mr. Inaction. Not only is he Switzerland, he's like Switzerland in a bed of petunias, just kicking his feet up and not doing anything to help the elves.
Yeah.
So until Eärendil comes rolling out of the sea, and I guess you had to get to the point where the elves and the first houses of men had lost everything, and everything was on the line, and then you had to have some magical representation from not only the Maiar and the blood of Lúthien's line, Lúthien being the daughter of a Maiar and an elf, the first union of elf and Maiar, to represent those races along with men for the first time. Idrial and Tuor were Eärendil's parents. So Eärendil sails, Vingilot sails his ship across, and he's the first one to, sort of be a diplomat on behalf of the three races. Well, the dwarves were not represented because apparently the dwarves don't get any cred in this situation, but elves, men, and the Maiar are represented. And he basically, just goes over there like, hey, gods and angels, are you guys finally ready to do something, anything, Manwë? And Manwë still, at least initially, doesn't do anything, but he has, the good grace to at least pray to, or, phone up Ilúvatar, the creator, the one god, and say, Ilúvatar, should I finally do something? And finally, Ilúvatar says, yes, it is time.
I like that voice.
Yeah, exactly. So Manwë's a huge petunia, and you guys drop it in the comments if you disagree, because I'm ready for this argument, even though I've had it a dozen times before. Manwë is a complete.
Manwë is like, he's like Captain Hindsight. We should have done it this way.
Yeah.
So, long way of answering Josh's question. So Eowyn is not Manwë, but he is the herald of Manwë. He's Manwë's right-hand man, his chief Vala. We know from the lore that Eowyn, it doesn't say he is the mightiest of all the Maiar. I think that credit goes to Sauron. We're about to find out. But it does say he is mightiest and most skilled in arms. So wielding whatever you can define as arms, So blades, most poignantly, perhaps spears, perhaps sacred gems, those kinds of things. So in this fight, go ahead.
I like sacred gems.
Silmaril fan in the house. Yeah, so this fight is basically the mightiest of the Maya against the mightiest in arms of the Maya. So, initial thoughts on who has the edge based on that description?
Sauron.
Sauron.
Because
Simper.
I want it.
Yes.
I'm actually choosing Sauron because Eonway is not gonna pull. He's going to pull his punches.
Sauron
he's
has
not
been
gonna use-
ridiculous. I'm sorry. I
Go
stepped
for it.
on your toes
No,
there.
no.
but
Go for it.
His mace has been so strong. And his necromancy as well. He's just been he's been knocking dudes out pretty quick. Has he struggled with anybody at all, honestly?
Not that much, dude. I think maybe a little bit, and it's very struggle is still maybe a strong word. So, how much life has anyone drained from him of note? Elrond couldn't do much, and Caligon. I'm going from memory, but I think Caligon got him down to below 60.
Right. Okay.
But still didn't get him below 50, I don't believe.
Yeah.
And that's Caligon the freaking black. So, yeah, dude. Josh.
Yeah.
Speaking of Caligon the black. We did you proud, man. We were cracking some pretty funny jokes a few episodes ago. Just go back and watch the Caligon fights. It won't be a waste of time.
Yeah,
And everyone watching tonight, it's if you like laughing anyway, go watch the Caligon fights. Just go watch them.
I'll have to.
Yeah. So, what say you based on the odds here? Green line is Eonway.
Ooh.
Blue line is Sauron. More advantages, although not by much. More advantages to Eonway.
Sauron's got that elusiveness, though. That means it's going to be hard to hit.
Yeah.
They're both going to prefer melee, and the battlefield conditions just slightly favor Eonway, so the characters will use their preferred weapons 95% of the time. They won't really have to do much from range if they don't want to, so they're going to have their way.
So they're coming right at each other.
Pretty much.
Ready to roll.
Mace on enchanted blades. Now, that being said, I'm looking for any advantages here in melee. So just to refresh everyone, I think it's always a good reminder to look at what these stats actually do. So your blue stats are your defensive stats in the middle. Your red stats at the top are offensive, and down here at the bottom, the green ones are ranged, right? So we can kind of ignore the range if they're 95% of the time not going to do any of that.
Yeah.
So a third of your damage will be dealt by your ferocity, your stamina, and your magic. So let's just look at those real fast. And this is what the computer already does in its breakdown for us pre-game. But ferocity, 85 to 88, slight advantage for Sauron there. Stamina, 99 to 91, pretty close, but advantage. I mean, Eowyn's maxed out. And what else did I say? Magic, right? Mm-hmm. Tie. Both maxed out. So, I mean, look, it's an even fight, man.
Yeah. So I think that elusiveness is going to play a huge role.
Better armor for Eonway, and better elusiveness for Sauron.
So with maxed out blades, I mean, does armor actually work? Like
that's a great question.
The elusiveness is where you need to. It's the lack of the hit.
Exactly. You cross multiply. And again, this is just to strike. So when you're going through the battle flow here, your striking versus your armor is right here in this middle dice roll. I'm not sure you can see the cursor here.
Yeah.
But center of the page, roll to strike. That's what is determined by those two Madden stats, right? So when you kind of cross multiply here in the table, you go striking of one character against armor of the other. Now, Eonway, 94 against 50.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna clear that threshold, right? It's gonna work for him. His dice rolls will be coming out positive because of that advantage, 94 to 50. However, Sauron, 82 to 80, that washes out.
Yeah.
So again, that's only one step of the flow. But you can't wound unless you can strike, right?
Exactly.
and you can't get damage unless you can wound. So, those rolls to strike, and when you see that yellow bar appear at the top of the screen once we start the fight, that's being engaged. That's your first phase. When it goes orange, you get a strike. You get this phase, and you advance to wounding. So, let's get our picks in and let's start the fight. Who you guys got?
Sauron.
Everyone watching, drop it in the comments. Who do you like? Let's go. Only 3 fights left in this tournament. Jump in there. Let us know. And if you have thoughts on lore, if you have thoughts on the fights, if you have thoughts on us, let's go, man. Let's get while the getting's good. But yeah, so Josh, you first. You said you got Sauron, right?
Yep, Sauron. So in the pregame matchups and all that stuff, whenever we were guessing, I chose Aonway to go all the way.
Nice.
This matchup though, like that elusiveness score, I think is going to be super duper key. Plus, Aonway, if we're going lore, if that's the angle we're going to take, then I think Aonway is going to have to hold back, not use all of his power, and Sauron wins.
Well said. That's well reasoned. Chucky, bring it.
Yeah, I mean, well, we were just talking about how Sauron's been quick to finish a lot of these guys. I don't see that happening with Aonway, and I see this could be 80 rounds or so. I'm taking the over on that.
Ooh, yep. That'd be fun.
I guess I'd have to go 80.5 or some shit, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. All right, Patty, man, if you're able, jump in here. I know you're on mute right now, man. Multitasking, but
yeah, dude, I'm gonna have to go with Sauron as well. First of all, screw it, Aonway, but also I think I think he's just more ferocious. Like he's just gonna keep pounding away.
Love it. I love it. All right, man. I'm gonna stick with my initial gut reaction and say Aonway. Even though he is a boring character, I'm in total agreement on that.
Brother,
Exactly. Yeah. Shall we fight?
Let's go.
Let us fight. In the first fight of the Fell Fort. Damn, I'm saying that 10 times fast. We have Aonway against Sauron Gorthal. Let us fight.
Let's go.
Aonway with the first attack. He hits but does not wound. Sauron comes back. Misses. Aonway hits. Does not wound. Glancing off the armor with the enchanted blades. Sauron attacks. Misses. Aonway attacks. Hits. Wounds. Slay! Instantly!
No! Dude!
Beat down.
What?
One hit?
What?
Death stroke by the Maya.
I don't like this.
Dude.
Unbelievable.
Hold on, time out. This goes back to the whole Mary talking crap on Mary.
Yes, we were.
You remember? We talked smack on Mary, and Mary won. We talked smack on Aonway just now, and check this stuff out. Man.
He's listening. That's the only explanation.
It's AI. It's AI.
It's AI. It's everywhere.
And he's pissed.
It hurt us. Yeah. So look, it's an algorithm, guys, right? And the algorithm, we're feeding it numbers is all we're doing. And on this last dice roll, so check that out. So you can see it here on the screen. Round 5, he attacks with the enchanted blades. He engages. He hits. So he's advancing through this battle flow. Engages, strikes, wounds, and we abbreviate that to hits. And then on the roll for melee damage, it was on that last roll where the balance of all his factors, a couple of which are maxed out. Let's keep in mind, right? Mm-hmm. He delivers a death stroke, 100% life lost. Slay.
Oh.
Those are really rare, but we've seen them a couple times in these, 62 battles in this tournament so far?
Not that early, but yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't our shortest, but that was maybe our second or third shortest.
That's so wild.
Off with you, Gothaur. Off with you.
He finally showed his true power, and it's mighty.
Yeah.
Freaking mighty.
Yes. So, we are off and rolling, man. Just one fight left to go tonight. We're running out of fights here.
Dude, this fight reminds me of my prom night. Jeez, dude. A lot of noise. A whole lot of noise. But
So
very
much
brief.
hype, and then what?
So brief.
You know what's the most exciting thing about winning? It's when you win. I love that feeling.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
All I do is win, win, win. That's what Aonway just said.
Yeah.
Dude, Aonway, we got to change the name to Aeon Win.
Aeon Win. There it is.
Ew.
Aeon Win. Well, it's probably going to stick, dude, because the last character that you christened with a nickname, let's say, let's just say that one stuck too. Old Felagoon.
Old pencil dick.
Oh, pencil dick. Yeah. Go back and watch the Finrod Felgen fights. Those are funny.
Yeah.
So, next fight, we've got Feanor against Beleg. Let's cue that one up.
Aonway with a quick victory lap right there. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go back to being boring with Manwë.
Feanor versus Beleg. Ugh.
Yeah, so, that one is more tilted than this first one, so watch it be just an absolute epic fight. Who knows at this point, right? The one where, actually, damn, I'll show you guys the graph in a minute. I'm just pulling it up. But maybe there's some advantages for Beleg here. Let's check this out. All right, so check this out. Green line, Feanor. Blue line, Beleg. So raging deficits right through here. All through, cursor. All through here. But look over here.
Yeah?
So, again, these are these range stats. This guy is a fell archer. Deflection, magic, stamina, toughness, spirit.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, all advantages. And he's been, let's keep in mind too, on his path here, he's been getting after it. And the way he wins, though, is very interesting. He's really, really dodgy. And he just dodges crap from ranged. And let's see. Feanor, look at this.
No. Look at the weapons, though. Game over.
What say you?
Game over. If he doesn't have his bow, he's done.
Oh, true enough. No, but look, so Feanor's he's going to prefer ranged combat. That's a bad decision, dude, because that's playing into Beleg's strong hand. Now, the way that they, it's worth revisiting this real fast. The way they decide that in your first readout here from the battle engine, Feanor prefers to use ranged combat with the beam of Laurelin. Why? Well, it's because they played a quote-unquote regular season leading up into the tournament, and all that data is baked in to how well he did, not specifically against Beleg, but against everyone using, similar Madden stats, right? So he is pretty sure, and the computer is pretty sure, that he's going to have his best chance from ranged.
He's what we would say...
But look at...
Dumb.
Go ahead.
Nah, he's what we would say dumb.
Dumb is the word, I think, because... Now, the computer is probably technically correct, but look at this. So you're going to look at from ranged. He's going to be using his accuracy skills. So for Feanor, that's an 88. And he's going to be using his piercing skill, which for Feanor is a 64. That's not elite. That's not even that good.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's wielding the Silmarils, which is like a light attack, a beam of light, like not really a laser, I guess, but a Silmaril beam of Laurelin. It's all right. It's all right. But the way that Beleg has gotten this far is he is super elusive, right? 87. I suppose he's not in the 90s, but 87 is a good elusiveness score. And so look, he is a dodgy bastard. His agility and his elusiveness he's been very effective at just getting out of the way, such that he doesn't need to rely on his armor because it's terrible. If you get a hit on him, it's going to do damage. Okay, but he's gotten this far just by dodging, and then his accuracy is insane. So 88, and then his piercing is also very good, 80. So
I think I may have found a flaw.
Yes.
So in this whole computer AI or the algorithm figuring out what the computer prefers, like what Feanor prefers, it's not considering the other players' strengths and weaknesses. Like, who in their right mind would ever give Beleg a chance by going distance? We got to go fight hand to hand.
Yeah.
Have to.
It's yeah. So the short answer there is it does consider his particular strengths, but it also considers the whole body of work that he's been through against everyone. Because the what I refer to as the regular season, it's a round robin of everyone fights everyone. So we just feed the computer a full data set of everyone against everyone. So he has that everyone includes Beleg here. But I don't disagree, man. And we've seen it in this tournament because it's a single elimination tournament. They're fighting one time. Anything can happen, just like March Madness. Anything can happen on any given game, right? And we've already seen it. I'm gonna forget who it was that decided to go range and got bounced. Can't remember now, but we've seen it in this tournament. And then Feanor, I don't know. I'm still picking him probably in this game, in this match, this fight.
Yeah.
But that could be something to watch for sure.
Yeah, you got to see
Beleg.
Yeah. No, I just talked smack on Beleg, so
Yep.
Let's get ready for an upset.
Patty Man, what say you? Who do you like in this one?
Those little chips really start to add up.
Oh, good point. Yeah, and I didn't mention that.
Yeah, that damage over time is huge.
Yeah, so explain what you mean by that, because I was going to hit on this too.
He's consistently been able to land shots. He doesn't miss very much. The problem is the damage, right? But I think if he can stay elusive, we're going to see a Ungoliant type of fight here. I'm giving it to Beleg. I'm
hopefully. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yes. Man, that'd be a sweet freaking upset, man. These one seeds are gnarly. But that would be freaking amazing.
Man.
So Chucky, you sticking with Feanor in this one?
Telling me there's a chance.
Talking 1 in a million?
I've counted him out every time, but not this time.
I never said I was taking Feanor. No,
you didn't. Don't let me put words in your mouth.
Go Beleg. I'm taking him and I'm rooting for him. It's not been working, but I'm gonna keep. Insanity is whatever. Doing the same. I don't care. I don't care what the quote is.
Let's go. All right, everyone watching, who you got in this one? Drop it in the comments. Let us know. Talk some smack on one of these guys. We didn't really visit Lordor in this one. I feel like I've done so many Lordors on both these dudes.
Well, yeah, they've been surviving for so many rounds. So
yeah,
it's gonna
naturally as the brackets go on, we're gonna run into the same characters that we've already talked about. So
sure. Yeah, I got little one-liners for each one, and you can kind of read them in these boxes here. If you're these are two first age characters, right? So they're not as familiar. I get that. It's worth just pointing out that Feanor is the maker of the 3 Silmarils that set off a whole series of wars and events in the first age of Middle Earth a long time ago. If you're looking for the reason why in the Third Age and in the Peter Jackson movies and in the events of The Hobbit, the elves are kind of piecing out. Like, this isn't their fight anymore. And, I've heard a lot of well-meaning Tolkien fans call them pussies and, call them petunias, whatever. That's fair, because they're piecing out. This isn't their fight. Why not? Well, it's because of the events of the First Age, because of this guy Feanor, which led them on this absolutely futile quest to try to kill one of the gods, Morgoth, who stole his you could think it like an artist's opus, composer's opus. The greatest creation of his life were these 3 jewels. And Morgoth, Sauron's boss, stole those, and he's one of the Valar who literally helped create the world.
How mean?
What's that?
I said, how mean?
How mean? Yeah, so Feanor, he was seeing red. He had, he just went mental. Tolkien calls it Fey. Fey. He's got his own word for it. And the guy was he chased them to the ends of the earth. He swore his whole family line this oath to pursue until their deaths anyone. It doesn't matter if you're a dwarf, elf, doesn't matter, orc, god, whoever would keep a Silmaril against them, they are the enemy, and you must go slay them. And so that set off this futile set of wars in the First Age, right? And so that is why in the Third Age, your elves, they have long memories. You got to remember this race lives forever. A lot of those guys in the Third Age were literally there for all this. They don't forget. They remember. And, 4,000, 5,000 years is nothing to them, right? So it's kind of crazy to think about, but that's kind of the reason. And no, elves did not show up at Helm's Deep because it wasn't their fight. Yeah, that was a cool moment in the Two Towers, I guess, but bullcrap. Yeah, in the books, the elves are not part of the story. They're just not. It's not their fight. So,
man.
Yeah, you really can't understate how the events following the creation of the Silmarils just cascaded into every bad thing that ever happened.
Totally right.
But
yeah, it's
I don't know. I don't want to spend too much time on this here, but I'm struggling with I get the time aspect, and okay, so it's not that long for them. But first of all, why set up shop everywhere? And second of all, once you've set up shop, it's kind of like saying, I don't know. It's kind of like saying that because we weren't involved in the war of like 1812 or whatever the hell, that we wouldn't. If like orcs showed up on our doorstep, we wouldn't like. It's still where you live. Like, they still have lands like Rivendell and of course it's fleeting. But I just it's always been hard for me to buy that they have an out for not wanting to, and even defending their route west, like should be a priority just in case,
Mm-hmm.
They only apparently have a limited number of ships, so I'm not sure. And of course,
it's a good point.
Of course, some of them do their fair share of fighting the Grey Company, and others, you know what I mean, like aren't just completely inactive.
Mm-hmm.
And Lothlorien fights a lot of skirmishes and stuff, especially in terms of like defending their pocket there. But it's like the best defense is the best defense is a good offense, right? So it's like, I don't understand sometimes when thinking about it, why they didn't kind of go out, expand a little bit more beyond their little pockets to get out ahead of shit and be a little bit more proactive. But, that's elves for you.
Yeah, you remember the Hobbit line in the movies here. I think it was Merry, and they used it to Treebeard, but the same could be said about the elves, any of these ancient races that are really old and they kind of never die. Treebeard says during Entmoot, when they're deciding whether they should go to war, it's just like, This is not our fight, hobbits. You are very young and hasty, and this just isn't our fight. And remember what Merry says? He says, "But you're part of this world."
Pippin. It was Pippin, I believe, right?
Pippin.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
That's the
Mary.
quote, right?
I think it was Mary.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You're part of this world, aren't you? And that's what you're saying, Chucky, is like, yeah. So and the reason that Galadriel and set up Lothlorien is they, the same reason that actually Beleg's people, and you see Beleg in this fight, the Sindar, they never made it to Valinor because they missed Quevian, and they want one day. Middle Earth is their home, is their original home, right?
Yeah.
And so they never wanted to leave, and a lot of them never did. And the other elves that did actually go to Valinor for a while. By the Third Age, they've sort of intermingled with all the elves that stayed, and they're kind of unifying these kingdoms. Certainly in Rivendell is all mixed, and even Lothlorien, I think, is mixed. The Galadrim are a mix of Sindar. Hell, I mean, Galadriel's husband Celeborn was one of Beleg's boys from Menegroth in the First Age. So they're all mixed by then, and the argument is basically that that's their home. They never wanted to leave. They made the 3 rings of power in the Third Age and are just getting a chance to finally use them. That's an interesting arc that the show Rings of Power should probably explore if they knew it was good for them in that show, which I don't know if they do. But yeah, they should talk about that. Like, hey, we're finally we had to hide these rings for the longest time because Sauron made the one. We're finally just getting a chance, for the last, not less than 1,000 years to use these things and set up cool kingdoms in the land where we were supposed to live, Middle Earth. So yeah. So then why don't they fight? Like, so if they, it's what you're saying, bud. So if you love your home and you want to be in your home, and some of them never wanted to go to Valinor anyway, they probably don't want to go now and get on those swan ships and leave. And so if you love your home, and granted, they do fight to defend their home, but they
right. They do like the bare minimum. It's like
the bare minimum.
It's very reactionary. It's like they don't get out ahead of anything. And sure, whatever. I was having some debate with somebody, I don't even remember when, about population sets. We don't really have any idea. Someone was trying to argue that the entire population of Rivendell was like 500 elves, and I was like, oh man, I mean, it's so hard to find the detail.
Yeah.
That means they would never have children because they live for 4,000 years or whatever.
Yeah, and when they do, it's true. I don't know of an elf really anywhere in the lore that had more than 4 kids. It's a weird and unexplored sort of thing. You'd think that over all those years they'd be having 20, 30 kids, right?
Yeah. When do they become infertile?
Elven fertility. Idea. Look that up.
Yeah, it's like
not again, and people don't like it when I say it this way, but not a strong suit of Tolkien. And you can't be strong at everything. Like, there's just going to be areas that are kind of left up to interpretation, and that's fine. It's already a long ass book.
Yeah.
His elven erotica was not really up to your
nowhere near. He was nowhere near as weird as like George R. R. Martin or whatever. He doesn't have that talent, I guess you could say.
Yeah, fair.
And then they had sex.
In other facets as well, like, I personally never thought J.R. Tolkien was a good narrator.
Yeah.
I don't like listening to him narrate his own books. I think his pacing is kind of weird.
Right.
But he writes a great book. I mean, he's just a human.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure I've ever heard him try narrating. Where do you find
there's one specific one where he narrates the charge of the Rohirrim at the Plaenor Fields.
Yeah.
And it's just not.
Also, the forging of the ring, the very beginning, I've heard too. The opening sequence of the book, I've heard, and it was somebody overlaid it with like some of the old footage, maybe from like the cartoon or something. But it was Tolkien's actual voice.
Gotcha. Well, we've got a fight to get into, gentlemen. Are we ready?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Who will advance to take on
Beleg?
To take on Eowyn
Feanor
in the final fight? Let us see. In the final fight of the Fell Four, we have Feanor taking on Beleg Strongbow. Let us fight!
Let's go.
The first attack for Feanor wounds! Heavily hewn!
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Two super short ones.
The beam of Laurelin. So much for that wily
wasting.
Sindarin dodginess.
Not wasting any time.
But you are never out of the fight.
Maybe.
Beleg comes back. Miss. Feanor comes back. Hits! Wounds! Swipe! Right there on the ropes. This could be a very short one. Beleg, can he do any damage?
There's no way.
Engages.
This guy's out.
Misses. Oh, can Feanor finish it in record time? Miss. Beleg's still alive for one more round. Can he do any damage? A hit. A wound.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go.
Okay.
Even the fight a little
All right.
bit.
Okay.
Yes. So
That
30.
pompous elf.
What is that? 35-point advantage to Feanor through just 6 rounds. All right. Feanor takes the initiative. He hits. Wounds.
Oh no.
Slay.
Oh no.
And he makes short work of the Sindarin.
Oof.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have a final fight. It will be Aeonway against Feanor. Chucky's 2 favorite characters.
No. It's rigged. It's rigged.
That's not rigged. Beleg's lucky he lasted that long.
The chalk is rigged.
Yeah. Adam programmed Gothmog to lose.
I know.
I'm such a good coder, you guys.
Yeah.
Well done, Adam. Well done.
Oh man. Well, yeah, that 2 beatdowns tonight. You know, it happens with these things. You got these 1 seeds, and they do not fuck around, man. I don't know of a nicer way to say it.
Yeah. Oof. Beleg put up a fight. That's all.
I think he had the.
He got
most
1 shot
impressive-
in.
Most impressive run.
Definitely the most impressive run. Yeah, let's give him that. Shoot, a 9 seed making the freaking Final Four. It's legit. So let us see the bracket now.
Well, it's the finals.
Yeah, but before we get to that, looking back really quick, guys, while I load the bracket, tell the folks some of your favorite moments that got us to this final fight. What stands out in your minds?
I gotta say that 0.06 health was awesome with Luthien and I think Beleg.
Oh, yes.
And then I think, again, Beleg taking down Ungoliant was iconic. That was great.
Yeah, that certainly was. That was a huge upset.
Also, Legolas, there were some good fights there. He had a pretty good run.
For sure. Yeah. Legolas had a nice run. We'll show the bracket here in just a sec.
Yeah, Thranduil as well.
Thranduil as well.
I really liked some of Boromir's early run too.
Yes.
Boromir and Faramir both had some fun fights. So
They did. They represented pretty well. For lowish seeds, a 13 and an 11, they did well. They won one fight, and let's see, Faramir slew Smaug and then lost. Boromir won 2 fights. So yeah, both of them did really good.
And maybe the most intriguing matchup, just to me, maybe even before it happened, but then the fight was good too, was the Witch King versus Gilgalad. I think in round 2 or round 3, I can't really remember, but that was good.
Witch King against Gilgalad, yes.
The Witch King came through.
So yeah, let's share with the good folks what we are looking and talking about here. So our final fight, Aeonway against Feanor. 2 1s, 2 dominant ones. I want to say Feanor at least had a couple. Oh yeah, here against Fingon, another elf on elf crime fight.
Yeah.
This was close.
That was very
Feanor
close.
was lucky to win this. Go watch this fight. He was pushed to the very brink in this one. But before that, I don't think he was really pushed by. He definitely wasn't pushed by Thranduil very much. And before that, I mean, not really by anyone. So Azaghal, as much as we love old Zach Wild there, that was a beatdown. Grishnak, Azaghal, and then Thranduil. Fingon's the only guy who's pushed Feanor, and I don't know if anyone's pushed Eärnwë. Have they?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Legolas didn't do much damage. The Witch King, Chucky, do you remember? Did the Witch King get a couple good hits on Eärnwë in that fight? He might have.
I don't recall it being a super close fight, but
Yeah.
that was probably his closest one.
Maybe the upset of the tourney here. Boromir takes down Fingolf, and I remember yelling a lot during that one. That was good fun.
That's a rad fight.
Hell yeah. And then, I'm trying to remember. This was the most chalky region.
There were a couple of fights in the first round that were going like 88, 90 round, oh my gosh, like back and forth.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. This was devastating for me. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys weren't there in the pre-tournament breakdown shows and stuff that we did with Josh, or like the first round fights that he was at, Helm is your boy, isn't he, Josh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, you can't beat that one hit, Helm Hammerhand.
Oh.
Whenever you get a sweet nickname,
yeah,
for fighting especially, it's just like Beleg's strongbow, and he diced everyone up with his arrows.
Exactly.
So,
yep. Almost like it wasn't just a clever name with the nickname, eh?
Yep.
Yep. So then one quick look over here. And by the way, anyone can check out this bracket anytime. This is literally off our website here at MiddleEarthMadness.com, the old bracket tracker page. Yeah, this region was fairly chalky, although, let's see, the big upset was first round, Mary over Gothmog. And then, of course, Beleg comes sneaking out of here to upset Luthien. Down here, we're pretty chalky. Purely chalky. And then up here in this region, we had our 12-5 upset. Thranduil took out Maedhros. And then Maedhros' dad, Feanor, got pissed off about that and had his vengeance with the Wood Elf here. Glorfindel. This was a big upset too. I think all of us had Glorfindel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a big time.
Surprised Elf Jesus didn't go further.
Yeah,
yeah.
Glorfindel put out a really strong front, and then Thranduil came back.
Filled him up with arrows.
Nasty, nasty arrows.
Yep. So there you have it, everyone. It's been a fun tourney up until this point. Please join us on Sunday night, same bat time, same bat channel, for the final fight. Any closing remarks, gentlemen, before we break for tonight?
Nope. Go Flames, go! It's the last game of the season.
For me, let's see. F around and find out, right? Kind of make fun of a guy and find out what he's made of. So, learn my lesson last time. Let's go Eärnwë.
Yep. Hey, man, fair enough. I'm gonna be rooting for Feanor, but shoot, man, I will say
I said Flames, not Feanor.
Yeah, man. I had Eärnwë in the finals, but I had him taking on Gothmog, which he's been out since the first round. So
I think I'm going to pull Eärnwë for this one.
Nice.
As far as who I think would win, I couldn't tell you. But I think Feanor struggled more, so I'll give it to Eärnwë. But also, I think Eärnwë is just a little bit more than Feanor.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, again, it's easy to be Team Feanor until probably the ship burning at Loskar, where he ditches Fingolfin and all his people. I take it a step further. I was still kind of Team Feanor until he, on his deathbed, re-curses his whole family and says,
Yeah.
all right, all my sons, I could forgive this curse, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
Go get those Silmarils.
Let's hear more of that lore on Sunday.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
I shall take you back to Lordor on Sunday.
Maybe we should have a reading.
Ooh.
An excerpt from the book.
Perhaps. I got a couple days to maybe prep something like that.
Sweet.
Yeah, so let us know, everyone. We're on all the socials. So pick your favorite one and make sure you're following us. Hit us up. Let us know your thoughts on the whole tournament, on the battle engine, on Josh's wry wit, on Patty Man's sexy voice,
Indeed.
on Chucky's knowledge of all things peppers and Lordor. Whatever else you want, guys.
He's got a lot of knowledge on peppers.
Still
too.
need to get some of those bottles of hot sauce.
Yeah, kid makes wicked hot sauce, man.
It is hot.
D-Lab. Actually, we got a little visual for this.
Take my money.
Our official show sponsor. Let's give him some airtime, shall we?
DLabHotSauce.com.
DLabHotSauce.com. Dude,
Yeah.
all kind of weird peppers. This guy figures out and ships in from all over the place and blends with
got
other,
Crazy hybrids.
The thing I like about it, honestly, is it scorches the shit out of your tongue. So let's get this straight. It's not for the faint of heart. We're talking Texas hot sauce after all. But the thing I like about it is it's not just jammed with vinegar and like the first note of the flavor isn't just vinegar like you get with a lot of these sauces. I guess for me, I'm not a vinegar fan. But the best thing about these D-Lab sauces is they all are way different. Like you get smoke first and some like fruit notes and smoke and then the heat, right?
Yeah.
So it's good stuff, man. It's worth trying. So
right.
Check out our unofficial sponsor there. And I will take us away. Thanks for everyone for watching. Thanks for our panel for joining again. And until the next battle on Sunday, remember, as Professor Tolkien says, you can only come to the morning through the shadows, and where there is life, there is always hope. You are never out of the fight.